All right, today we're diving into something huge. We're talking about a truly massive experiment in educational technology, an AI built not just for a single classroom or even one district, but for the entire Indian school system. So let's break down what this really means.
Just try to wrap your head around the scale here. Over 1.5 million schools, 250 million students. It's just staggering. So the real question isn't simply, can AI help? It's, how on earth do you make something like this work for that many people without it just becoming a total chaotic mess?
And this is Indy's proposed answer, NCERT GPT. Now, it is absolutely crucial to get this right off the bat. This is not just another chatbot. It's being framed as an academic companion. The idea is for it to weave itself into the very fabric of the entire school ecosystem, touching everyone involved.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with its foundation in national policy. Then we'll get into its core philosophy. This part is super important. We'll see how it could actually transform daily life in schools, look at some of its smarter tools, navigate the potential risks, because there are definitely risks, and finally ask that big question. What could this all mean for the future of teaching?
So let's start with the foundation. What makes NCERT GPT so different from some generic AI you could just find online? Well, it's built from the ground up to be specifically aligned with India's own national education policies.
You can think of it like it's standing on three main pillars. First, it's totally hardwired to the official curriculum from the NCERT. That keeps lessons from drifting off topic. Second, it's designed to support the big goals of the 2020 National Education Policy, which is all about focusing on skills, not just rote memorization. And third, it has to follow the PRAGYATITA guidelines. Those are the national rules for data privacy and making sure digital education is safe.
Okay, so those policies are the what. But now let's talk about the how. And this next point, it's maybe the most important thing to understand about this whole project, because it's all built on one single, really powerful idea.
So, this is it, the key distinctions between automation and augmentation. The goal here is absolutely not to automate a teacher out of their job. Nope, it's to augment their abilities. The AI is meant to be a kind of cognitive partner that handles the repetitive, mechanical work, freeing up the teacher's time and mental energy for the things that really matter, like connecting with and mentoring students.
And this quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? Technology must serve pedagogy, not the other way around. The educational goals are in the driver's seat here. The tech is just the vehicle. It's a simple idea, but it's a profound one, and it's guiding this entire initiative.
All right, now we get to the heart of it. How would this AI actually change the day-to-day reality for everyone in a school?
Well, for principals and school leadership, this thing is a really powerful tool for quality control. It can help make sure different school branches are all teaching the same core concepts. It can also act as what they're calling a strategic equalizer, giving smaller schools with fewer resources access to the same high-quality planning tools as the big ones. And, of course, it promises to drastically cut down the time spent drafting all those reports and policies. And inside the actual classroom, the vision is to kind of transform everyone's roles. Teachers can shift from just delivering content to becoming instructional designers, using the AI to quickly whip up lesson plans and different activities. At the same time, students get empowered to become self-regulated learners, using the tool on their own time to get simpler explanations or generate practice questions. The system even reaches all the way home. For parents who might be a little confused by modern teaching methods, it can explain the why behind what's happening in the classroom. And this is key. It gives them guidance on how to help their kids without doing the work for them. It offers hints and guiding questions, not just the answers, turning parents into real partners in learning. So what does all this actually look like in practice? Let's take a quick peek under the hood at one of its coolest features, how it helps create really high-quality tests and quizzes. The structured way of making questions is pretty fascinating. A teacher can use these specific templates to generate different kinds of questions. So they could start with basic conceptual questions, then level up to application-based ones, and even generate what are called HOTS, that's higher-order thinking skills, questions that need some real critical thinking. This is a direct line to that national education policy goal of moving beyond just memorizing facts. And the scale of this is just wild. The system has something called a master prompt that a teacher can use to instantly generate 100 different conceptual questions for any topic they want, all logically grouped and ready to go. You can just imagine what a massive time saver that would be. Of course, you can't just drop an AI into education on this scale without some pretty significant risks. But it seems like the designers were very aware of this, and they've tried to build in some guardrails right from the start.
Yeah, they've identified some of the biggest risks and have clear strategies to deal with them. To fight against everything becoming too standardized, for example, all the AI-generated stuff is framed as a draft that needs a human teacher's final touch. To keep students from becoming totally over-reliant on it, the focus is on teaching them how to get help, not just get easy answers. And when it comes to data privacy, it's simple. They have to stick to those strict national Pragyayata guidelines.
So when you put this all together, you step back and look at the whole thing. What kind of future is it really pointing towards for education?
The big picture here is really a vision of partnership. The goal is to offload all the repetitive, mechanical parts of the job. The tedious lesson planning, the basic content creation. Give all that to the AI. This frees up the human teacher to double down on what we humans do best: mentoring, sparking creativity, and building those real, meaningful connections with students.
And that leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. If this grand experiment in India actually works, could this model, an AI that's nationally aligned, deeply integrated, and most importantly, human-centered, could that become the blueprint for how we think about technology and learning all over the world? I guess only time will tell.